You know what I was doing the other day? I was sitting in a coffee shop, super modern place, oat milk lattes, free Wi-Fi, everyone is on their MacBooks. And I opened up a Bible app on my phone to read a verse that popped up in a notification. And it just, it hit me. I am sitting in the peak of the 21st century, surrounded by technology that would look like magic to anyone from even 100 years ago. And I am reading a text that was written by a guy sitting in, I don't know, a dusty tent or a stone prison cell thousands of years ago.
It is a bit of a head trip when you actually stop to think about it.
It is. And it really made me wonder, am I actually reading this? Or am I just looking at these ancient words and projecting my oat milk latte worldview all over them?
Right.
Like, do I even have the capacity to understand what a shepherd in 800 BC was actually worried about?
But that anxiety you're feeling, that's actually a very healthy place to start. That specific tension between the modern world we live in and the ancient world the Bible comes from is exactly what we're unpacking today.
Oh, good. So I'm not alone in this.
Not at all. We are looking at a comprehensive educational overview that is honestly a bit of a survival guide for that very problem.
Yeah, we are doing a deep dive into a course specifically designed for ministry leaders and lay members. It's titled Course 2, Historical Contextualization Enhancing Expository Study Through Time and Culture. And we have the full stack here. The syllabus, the detailed guidebook, the lecture notes, the whole thing. It's a 6-week curriculum.
And I want to be clear right up front. This isn't just, a pamphlet you pick up in the church lobby. This is a robust framework. It is essentially an endorsement of a specific way of thinking.
A method.
A method, yes. It argues that if you want to move from just reading the Bible to actually studying it, what they call expository study, you need tools. You need a process.
Because otherwise we're just guessing, right? Is that the risk?
It's worse than guessing. We're projecting. Yeah. And the core premise of this entire course, the big idea you have to get, is that the Bible was written for us theologically, spiritually, but it was not written to us.
Okay, say that again. That sounds like a distinction without a difference, but I feel like it's incredibly important. Written for us, but not to us.
Think about it. When Paul wrote the letter to the Ephesians, he wasn't picturing you in your coffee shop in 2026. He just wasn't.
No, probably, yeah.
He was writing to a specific group of people in a specific city dealing with specific problems involving, magic and idol worship and Roman imperial cults, things we barely think about. He used language and metaphors that they would have understood instantly.
Right.
So when we read it, we are in a very real sense reading someone else's mail. It's preserved for our benefit, yes, absolutely. But if we don't understand the person it was sent to, we're going to miss half the message.
So the mission of this deep dive, then, is to figure out how to read someone else's mail without totally misunderstanding it.
Exactly. We are going to learn how to time travel. We're going to look at the definitions, some of these Kumon-style drills they suggest to master them, the spiritual engine behind it all, and some really fascinating case studies, like the Good Samaritan, that show just how much we miss when we ignore the context.
All right, let's get into the weeds. The course starts with a big term, historical contextualization. Now, usually when I hear context, I just think, okay, read the verse before and the verse after. Simple.
And that's a start. That is literary context, which is part of it, for sure. But historical contextualization is much, much bigger. The syllabus defines it as the process of understanding the circumstances and the cultural milieu in which biblical texts were written.
Milieu. Okay, you're breaking out the fancy French words early.
Well, it's the best word for it. It means the environment, the atmosphere, the invisible air that the original authors and their audience were breathing. The course uses a metaphor that I think is incredibly helpful, the bridge.
Okay, walk me through that. I saw that in the first chapter.
Imagine a massive canyon, Grand Canyon style. On one side, you have the ancient world. This is the world of the Bible. It has its own social structures, its own politics, usually kings and emperors, not presidents or prime ministers.
Totally different power structures.
Completely. It has agrarian rhythms, planting and harvest. It has distinct gender roles and a worldview that is often very, very supernatural. They saw the world as enchanted, full of spirits and divine activity.
Okay, so that's one side of the cliff, the ancient world.
On the other side is the modern world. That's us. That's your coffee shop. Democracy, capitalism, radical individualism, science, smartphones, antibiotics. It's a different planet almost.
And the Bible is trying to get from that side to our side.
Right. Now, what most people do when they read the Bible is they just try to teleport the text. They grab a verse from ancient Israel and just plop it down in modern New York. And the Course argues that when you do that, the meaning often falls right into the canyon.
Why?
Yeah.
What gets lost?
You lose the intent, the author's original intent, because you've stripped it of the environment that gave it meaning in the first place.
So historical contextualization is the hard work of actually building a bridge across that canyon.
That's the work. You have to be willing to walk over to their side, look around, understand their language, their customs, what they were afraid of, what they were hoping for, and then you can carefully carry the timeless meaning back to our side.
Okay, but